Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Home of Politics. If you are here for the first time, remember to subscribe, like, share. Remember to leave your opinion in the comment section and do not forget to watch my videos. Ladies and gentlemen, politics of Kenya right now has been featured mostly on the opposition, and we have found out that there is some prominent leaders, some of them who had served in the government, others who have been in politics throughout. They have come up with a strong coalition whereby right now we are seeing the Guzi community are really forcing Matiang'I to be on the front line and to be a presidential candidate come 2027. My good people, we are aware that Matiang'I is not a politician. His career is not measured under politics, and this will be a new thing for him to venture in. But if we can relate the life of Matiang'I with any other politician or any other person who was compelled to come and run for presidency back in the years, then we can find out that one of the leaders called MUKHISA, KITUYI, who was one of the members of parliament in Bungoma somewhere, and he lost. He did not succeed because of various factors. But before that, we can see that MUKHISA KITUYI in 1992 became an MP under Ford Kenya, and he was re-elected twice. That was in 1997 and 2002. After that, he left Ford Kenya and joined NAK Kenya, whereby by that period, when he joined NAK Kenya, he lost. He did not secure any chance in the politics. By that time, he also quitted NAK Kenya, and he quitted politics and he ventured in other careers. In 2013 to 2021, he served as the Secretary General under the United Nations Conference on Trade. And during that time is the time when he had lost MP seat to an opponent. And because he was a person who is learned and he wanted money, he went to work with the UN. Up to that time, he was very silent and inactive in politics because he was outside Kenya. And so there was this force where people from his region, Bungoma, forced him come and be a presidential candidate in 2022 because we feel like Luhyas need a president. And so this MUKHISA KITUYI quitted his job in the UN. That one was in 2021 March, whereby he decided, in 2021 September, he decided that he will step down from his position in the UN as the Secretary General to come and vie as a presidential candidate in Kenya. That one was in 2022. But when he returned to Kenya after losing his job abroad, things changed. He was convinced by RAILA ODINGA and other coalition party members to an extent that he dropped his bid and decided to support RAILA ODINGA. As a result, RAILA ODINGA failed. He did not secure the presidential seat in 2022. That means that all the people who had put more effort, resources, and their time and their money to support him went lost, including MUKHISA KITUYI, people like Alonzo Musyoka, Martha Karua, so many people. Jubilee, they were just there. Later, we have seen that RAILA ODINGA has joined the government, leaving all other people who supported him just like that, with no help, with no any other agreement signed for them to have positions or any other thing in the government. And we see that is how MUKHISA KITUYI was wasted after losing his job, after coming in politics, and things went upside down. The same issue is going to happen with Fred Matiang'I, because we have been seeing his political career. He has been a CS 3 times and he has not been a politician in even a single day. We have seen that in the year 2022, when the elections were over, Fred Matiang'I was nowhere to be seen, and he had already left Kenya. He had already secured a job in USA. And we also wonder, how did he manage to do that? Because maybe he had applied for this job earlier and he was not ready to stay in Kenya anymore. That's why he left immediately. Even the results were not out. This Fred Matiang'I has been seen showcasing his abilities to work or to lead during the time when he worked in the Ministry of Education, Ministry of Interior, finally in the Ministry of ICT. He was an able leader but not a politician. And so he also became a lecturer in Egerton University very earlier years, and he has been a good man. But after elections, he secured a job in the World Bank, whereby he had been in USA, and due to the pressure that the community from his place, that one is KITUYI community, has been mounting pressure on him so much. Come home, we need you, you should become a president, come and help us lead this Kenya. It forced Matiang'I to come from USA so that he can come to see what's happening in Kenya. And because he has accepted the bid, then that is where we are becoming very attentive to his life, because the same thing he came, they did homecoming. He showcased himself in various parts of the region like Nyamira, Kisii. We saw him working together and holding meetings with other leaders from the opposition like the Jubilee leaders, Wiper, the People's Party, Liberation Party. We have also seen him working with the DAP Kenya. We have seen him working with Rigathi Gachagua and so many other leaders. Some of them who are the people who are showing the signs of defecting from UDA. And so we see it as a serious thing to come to do politics from his work in USA, because he is not right now in the country. He has been told, go back in the USA, step down or clear with the organization and come back in full force so that you can do politics. And if we can count right now, we are in 2025. The campaign period and election period will be officially in 2027. And so if Matiang'I is going to resign right now from the World Bank, from his position, it means that he will not be having that money that he has been paid like a salary from that organization. One thing, he will lose that money. Another thing, if he comes fully in politics in Kenya, right now we hear opposition saying that they are not being funded or sponsored by any other leader, but the citizens or the party members will fully sponsor the party. And so it means that even if Matiang'I will come back in 2025 immediately, then it means that his salary will be another thing. He will not be expecting anything from these coalitions that they are forming, even if they will have something to support themselves. Another thing, we are seeing that even if he will come in Kenya, and we see he has a lot of leaders who can be very competent than him, because we see under Jubilee Party, they announced that Matiang'I is their presidential candidate. Under DCP Party, that one of Rigathi Gachagua, he declares himself as the presidential candidate. And even with his interview with a local TV station, he said that amongst all other opposition leaders that are being seen right now, apart from Raila Odinga, then Rigathi Gachagua sees himself as the best presidential candidate to compete with the President William Samoei Ruto in 2027. It means that if he has declared himself in that position, then the issues to do with the Fred Matiang'I being presidential candidate, that one is a no. Another leader maybe to come from Mount Kenya, let's say a leader like Kalonzo Musyoka, a leader like Martha Karua, that one is a no, because they are coming from the same region, the same locality. And so we see it as something that will be going to have a serious issue come in 2027, because Fred Matiang'I has been lured into this issue to quit his job and come and do politics in Kenya, while we know that he's not a politician from his career or his background. He has never done politics. So there is a very big competition, and this can come to happen because we are not sure that Rigathi, if he is the presidential candidate for the entire opposition, that he will secure that seat come 2027, because his competitor, President William Samoei Ruto, is still very famous and is doing much as he can to hold the office. In one way or another, we are seeing that every region that the president is trying to chip in, he's doing with an intention of gathering influence, votes, and a lot of people to be followers of UDA. For instance, right now we are seeing the president has created a lot of positions in the government, whereby he is including the Somalis, he is including the people from the coast, the Muslims. These are regions that had been forgotten in other governments, and he is creating that position. For example, we are seeing region like Turkana, whereby he has given a position of the chair of IBC. It means that he is going to have a lot of votes to compensate those votes that will be lost to other leaders, and so the competition is very stiff. And if Rigathi Gachagua with his team will not be able to secure the government in 2027, then it means all the people will be losing their things as they came in opposition, because they believe they will unseat the president. And it can happen the same way MUKHISA KITUYI was wasted, because he quitted his job, he came to Kenya to do politics. At the end of the day, you are being told you should now step down, because you will not be the suitable candidate, because you are not very famous. You should just back up this leader who has been proposed. At the end of the day, you lose everything, and you cannot go to the same job that you have been doing. After a short period, you become irrelevant in politics, and you again wonder how you will survive in Kenya's politics. Instead, you look for another thing to do. Actually, this is the politics of Kenya, the way it goes. If you feel like maybe Rigathi Gachagua versus Matiang'I are the best combination come 2027, send me your opinions in the comment section. And if you feel like this Matiang'I will lose everything when he resigns and comes to politics, then you can share with me your opinions. Thank you for tuning in. Have a good day.